Hey everyone, Michelle here. Thank you for joining me on my channel today. I am uh, here with you today with a process video for Peartree Cutfiles. And as soon as I saw this cut file, now I've cut it out just out of scrap, and so it might be kind of hard to see what it is. But it's ski goggles with this mountain in the glass portion, and I loved it immediately. And so I begged my daughter to send me pictures of her skiing with her buddies. And so I'm not sure what size photo I'm going to use yet. And I have a couple others too in case I decide to do something just across. And so, so she came through. Thank you, Julia. And I think I'm going to use the Everywhere collection from 49 and Market. Now, it is a travel collection, but there are pieces in it that are ski related, like tickets and best ever and things like that. Some of the titles, on the go, best time ever, oh, the places we'll go, even like enjoy our adventures, ticket to ride. So I think I'm going to use this collection. Another reason why I wanted to use it, there's a lot of snow collections out there, but I wanted something that had some color in it, because if you've gone skiing, the goggles, and then like it's rare that you have outfits that aren't don't have a lot of color and mismatched and that type of thing. So this is what I'm going to use. I cut out just an offset in this red just to help me build it until I decide what color I want to use. So that's a little explanation of what I'm going to be doing, and I will be back when I have cut out my cut file in the colors I'm going to be using. So I have cut out the cut file in some in white, some in this orange, and then you'll see a couple other colors a little bit later on. And I am going to show you most, if not all, of this cut file process because it's a little bit more intricate than some of the other cut files. So I'm using my Sweet Petunia glue gun with a fine tip to get glue on this. And it does take me quite a while. And so I speed up a lot of this. I think some of it is even at 8 times speed. So it looks like I'm moving with intention. So I have decided to add a little bit of black in these layers as well. And so there I am adhering one of the black layers. And there's a couple different ways, with the contour tool, there's different ways you can do the layers. Since I was using so many colors, I just did a lot of them individually. But with the black, I could have, um, you know, made it thicker so the orange sits on top of it rather than in between. So, but I was getting confused. And so it depends on how organized you are as far as figuring out your layers. But this worked the best for me. And then another reason why I liked doing this way is that it allowed me to, um, you know, change it up if I wanted to. If I wanted to do that interior piece in white, I could have. So it gave me options without having to go back and recut anything. So you see, I'm using that blue as uh, the whole shape of the lens, and then I cut out the mountains in white, and then I also cut out the mountains in a darker blue that has the map pieces from the 49 and Market Everywhere collection. So I really like how that turned out. I kind of lost track of some of my little blue pieces. Usually I use like a little dish to keep my little pieces in, but um, but I didn't do that this time. And so rather than cutting it out again, I used some white, and that worked really well. It just makes it look like some of the mountains have a little bit more snow on them. So I have finished my ski goggles and now I am taking a look at my pictures. I am going to back my main picture in white and orange and then my other pictures. Now I end up keeping the picture of Sarah to the right and get rid of the one to the left. That one wasn't really Copper Mountain. It was from a trip that she took to Winter Park. And so I just am using the ones from Copper Mountain. I'm going to go ahead and do some white splattering. And then I decide to add just another mountain look. So I just cut out kind of a mountain shape out of white. And I'm going to take a brush there and just add some faded jeans to the edge. And I'm going to do a little thicker. Oh, I didn't show you most of that process. And so, because it really is just inking, and then I sprayed it just to get the blue to blend down into the mountain a little bit. And then I used foam adhesive along the top of the mountain just so it pops up and creates a bit of a shadow. So I'm not going to do a whole lot of embellishments on this layout. I mean, it's the goggles are the scene stealer here, but I am going to do just a few rub-ons, a couple along the top, and then I am going to add just a little bit of orange and white at the top as well. I want just a little bit more color. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere my goggles and take a look. And I apologize. It looks like my layout is drooping off a little bit. I need to re realign my camera, it looks like. But most of the action that you're going to see is on camera, so it just is feels a little wonky. So I will get that fixed. And I'm taking a look at the few little embellishments I'm going to use. I am going to use that best time ever for my title. Um, and let's see what else. And then, so I'm going to have just a few little embellishments behind my title. And then I'm going to use a couple film strips. Kind of, if you use your imagination, I'm trying to have them at angles that would kind of duplicate a ski lift. So that is my kind of intention there. You might have to use your imagination, but it worked for me. And now I am, let's see. Oh, yeah. So I have some word sentiments that I want to use. So I'm going to figure out where those are going to go. And those are also from, they either are from the Everywhere collection or the Wherever collection. Because at this point, those two collections are getting a little bit mixed up because these actually are some of the last paper I have for the Everywhere collection. So the travel is going to get consolidated. All right, and so I am taking a look at, I want to add just a little something something on those mountains. And so I'm going to use a rub-on to do that. And I'm also, wanted to add a little bit of orange in there. So I didn't have any orange left in my film strips. So I grabbed one from the Spice collection. And there you see I'm adding just a little bit of white and just a little bit of orange up to the top. I did ink that with the faded jeans as well. And then I do the exact same thing with the bottom of the layout. So there I'm inking my edges. And so we are just so excited that Julia has been skiing with her buddies. She, we live in Washington State, and so we took her skiing several times when she was young, and she skied with some buddies here in high school. She moved to Denver. It's been a few years now, and she last year or for this year was able to afford a ski pass for the year, and so that really helped get her out on the slopes. So thank you to Sarah for driving her. And so I'm just finalizing some of those last embellishments, and I still am going to add a rub-on in those mountains here shortly. I think yeah. So I take a look at my rub-ons and I go with "You Are Here" because that is, um, important when you're skiing and looking at a ski map, figuring out exactly where you're at. And so that worked for this layout. And going to go ahead and rub those on. And then some of the last things I'm going to do is work on adhering what I have down and the final placement for my little word sentiments of a little adventure and our happy place. So if you are interested in this cut file, it is in the March release, and so it is available at the Peartree Cutfile site, and I will be sure to link that in the description. Peartree has so many cut files for anything that you can imagine, so be sure to check them out. And if you enjoyed this video, I truly appreciate everyone who has subscribed or liked or commented, and I love reading your comments. So thank you so much for the positive feedback. Here are some close ups and enjoy your day. Thanks, everyone.